And welcome to Business TV. Today with Jordan Allmark, who is a young man who basically, I can say that now because I'm 51, I'm 52 next year, Jesus. But basically Jordan is, well, I would go as far as to say ready to take the world by the balls, if I'm honest, because we've been having a chat before we started going live and saying hello to you lovely, beautiful people. And yeah, he's got some real drive and plans and stuff that we'll find out more about today. And there is a lot to talk about. So Jordan, yeah, so basically you've been doing brand and design for a while, and you kind of worked with food and drink companies quite a lot, but now you've decided, you know what, I really want to get out there. So tell us more about this drive that you've got.
Yeah, so I was working with food and drink brands. Firstly, thank you for having me, by the way. I'm working with food and drink brands, and I didn't want to be the kind of guy who just worked with any food and drink brand. So I wanted to be specific in who I worked with. Those who are more sustainable, those who are more focused on being innovative and being against the big brands of today. So Nestle and Cadbury, things that they're not transparent enough. Personally, to be in 2021, their products are so cheap is because of the way that they source things. And so I wanted to target a brand that really tried to be as transparent and honest as possible and pay fairly to the people who made them who they are. So the reasons why I shifted from food and drink to just any brand is because there's a wide variety of brands that aren't necessarily in that industry. You actually find that there's quite a lot in different industries as well that are still trying to be different. So even in law, there's still brands that want to be completely different to the ones that are already there, and it helps them stand out, but they need somebody to do it. If I'm only targeting one industry, it limits me to who I can help being more sustainable, environmentally friendly, and innovative.
Yeah, you talked there about Nestle and the big brands, Mars and all the rest of them, and everything, and you want to work with brands who are more sustainable and kind of give back. Is that a bit like the free trade kind of stuff? Or is it what is it called? It's fair trade kind of stuff. Sorry, that they have. So it's a bit like boutique brands who are producing their own products and stuff like that, using fair trade and ethically sourced products and stuff like that. Is that what we're talking about?
Yes, but I think sometimes also brands can pretend to be fair trade and actually not be fair trade. Brands pretend to be really good, but actually behind the scenes they're not.
Yeah, it's a badge. It's a badge. It's a bit like, I saw a documentary about dolphin-free tuna that basically they just pay the company for the badge or whatever it was. Anyway, it was on Netflix, so I'm not breaking any laws, Facebook, so don't kick us off. But it's a conspiracy I've just started, but basically, I mean that's quite a bit of a drive, and something else that I know that you want to do is you want to start working with young up and coming brand designers and people who are trying to get into the industry.
I think it's a wide range for that one. So I want to start two things. One, this is something that's going to happen in the next week. I want to drop an offer that is focused more on the same industry, but the same kind of people. So environmentally friendly, rebellious, innovative, people who want to really make a change in the world, but they are between the ages of 16 to 21. They've been at least going for 6 months, but they're not over the 2-year threshold. So they're still really new, but they don't have the budget to really help their brand stand out. They know exactly what they want to look like. They know exactly where they want to go, but Canva doesn't do it. All these free things don't do it. Fiverr isn't that good. So they want somebody who can push it to where it needs to go. So that's what I offer, a very highly depleted price for a logo, a social media banner, and a social media template, just to get them going on the social media side, which is important, but also having a brand identity to push forward as well at the same time. But I
think that's really interesting, that Jordan, because you talk about the depleted price, and these companies, these young entrepreneurs are not necessarily cash rich at this time. They're getting into the marketplace. They're starting, and they'll try and save money by doing these kind of things themselves and not possibly showing their brand identity correctly because of the way that they've tried to do it. So with you going this route of a vastly reduced cost to them, it gives them an opportunity to get something really professional that can make them stand out.
Builds a relationship as well.
Exactly.
It builds a relationship, and I think that's very important in business.
Well, you don't want your brand to suffer in the beginning by having something that's cheap and doesn't necessarily represent you. So I charge a hugely low price because I want to help them push forward. If I stand by what they are, and I want to help them, only in that age range, of course. But the other thing I was on about as well was the charity, or a charitable cause, an organization of sorts, which is like a little agency, which is I don't want to earn any money from it. I literally just want to help. So I will be the CEO. I bring people on, new designers. This is more design one. Inexperienced designers come on, and I connect them with charities that they want to work with, and I can talk to and set something up where they can get experience working with that charity, helping them push forward with their design and get a lot of experience with design as well. Get a lot better. So
they can get a bit of a portfolio together, then, can't they? Effectively, they can turn around they can go to a networking meeting and say, I've worked with Mind, or I've worked with whoever, whichever charity it may be, and show some kind of ability there and some credibility.
Yeah, exactly. That's the goal.
Good stuff. Wow.
Experience sells. Experience is huge. I think people don't get enough chance to do it.
Yeah.
Some charities get to pick and choose as well who they want to work with, and that irritates me a bit because if you've got somebody who's willing to put their time and effort into something, it doesn't matter if they've got lack of experience or not. If you like what they do, you judge too quickly. That's the issue.
It's really important, I think, when you talk to these designers and they tell you that the portfolio that they've worked with, and you've got the names that you understand and know and you like and trust, then you can then start to like and trust them, and then say, right, I can work with this person because they've done this kind of work before.
Exactly.
For me, one of the things about brands for me is that I think the brands are fluid, that they are going to change. And if you're going back to getting in with the new startup companies and stuff, Amazon's logo is not the same as what it was.
No.
I think it's changed about 7 times. I mean, Microsoft's logo is not the same as what it was. Brands and brand identity is a fluid concept that changes with the times and progresses as the business progresses. So I think getting in with the younger startup businesses and then just being with them and building that relationship is a great idea. There's something else that you put on that you were telling us about that I'm really interested in. I'm really interested because I like talking. Okay. So I want to come on your podcast. Tell us about this podcast that you're going to start up. It sounds brilliant and I want in.
Okay. So it's an idea that I had sitting down exactly where I am now. So you guys are invited completely. Yeah. Come on, please.
Brilliant.
You guys will be like the main guys in the whole conversation. You just talking. Like, yes, content, good.
Well, you get chalk and cheese. You get 2 different blimmin'.
You will very
two
much
different opinions completely.
Both Gareths on the same podcast. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
But the idea is that I think because I've been struggling as well. This is why I changed my industry a lot to focus more on people, more on different brands, because it's hard when you try and work so hard on something and it doesn't necessarily work the way you want to. So it's been putting me down a lot. And I've realized that the only way that I want to do my business is if it's helping people as much as it's helping me. I get a real buzz on it and make people smile. So the live podcast is basically for people who want to be a bit more philosophical. They don't really have many people to talk to, or they want to share their experiences and they want to talk about the purpose of life. And the purpose of life is really what you make it. My purpose of life is to make people smile and help people. So that's my purpose of life. It's just to be entirely happy, be wealthy in terms of making people smile, have a good network around me. And that's my purpose, but everyone is different. And I think people who are kind of struggling to realize their purpose as well would benefit in watching and listening to the podcast. But that's the idea, really.
I think they will. It's not something that I've ever sat down and contemplated what my purpose of life is. Oh, no, you have. I mean, I'm well aware of that. But it's not something I have. And then when you think about it, I must have one. Or why do I get up in the morning?
Yeah, of course. It's like what gets you up in the morning? What makes you smile in the morning? What's the first win of the day that you count as something that's good? So you could be being grateful that you woke up in the morning, being grateful that you've got you can get coffee just there. You haven't got to go and travel loads miles to do it. Be grateful that you've got a car that you haven't got to walk miles to get somewhere. Be grateful that you can cut time by using that car. Be grateful you've got a mobile phone. You can access the world just by that.
I don't know. Sometimes the mobile phone's a curse.
But simple things like turning the tap on and having running water.
Hot water.
New boiler. That kind of thing. It's we should be grateful for those things because it's a lot of people in the world don't have it.
I think some of the issues that we have in the Western developed world at the moment is the fact that we don't have those problems, so we create others. I don't want to get too deep into this because this is business TV, but because we'll get all of the whatever's on the chat or whatever. But I think that when you have less problems, you need to find other problems. And a lot of the issues that we've got in the Western world at the moment it is due to people looking for issues rather than actually just realizing how bloody lucky they've got it.
Yeah,
and we have got it very lucky, in especially in Britain and the Western cultures. So the podcast sounds fantastic. I want to come on. I have very I'm ex-military, so I have a very different outtake on the world and life than majority of people, civilians, etc.
That'll be interesting. Really interesting.
I'll tell you my four rules of life. I'll tell you them when we're on the podcast, and you'll have to, if you want to know what my 4 rules of life are, you'll have to tune into the podcast, won't you?
You have to just on the podcast,
because they are quite good.
That's the goal as well. Take something from the podcast every single session. That's the goal.
Exactly.
That'll be interesting.
I mean, at the end of the day, one of the things that you put in your bio for us to have a read and the rest of it, so we can have a chat, is that you do a lot of PT. You're a physical trainer and you're training to be a nutritional specialist. And one of the things I will touch on, if it's okay, is that you put here about mental health issues and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's a really, it's becoming more and more, I think it's becoming more and more talked about, and therefore it's not that we've got more of it. I think that it's just people are more open.
Yeah.
Do you find that the physical training and stuff helps towards that? The mental health issues and things? Because I know I do personally.
Yeah.
Nothing like a good game of squash. Jesus.
I played that and I'm so bad at it.
It's not about playing it well. It's about thrashing that little bloody rubber thing around a room with 4 walls.
It is good though. It is
and
good.
Getting it, getting your heart going, getting your breathing going and stuff.
I want to do it again now, man. I did it like 2 months ago, and I want to do it again. Start me off again, but
that's good.
No, of course, it does help. It does help because when I don't want a PT anymore, but being a level 4 PT would just make me feel good anyway, because I can go and do PT if I want to. But the main thing is nutritional coaching, because I like to help people. I like to advise. I like to help. I like to be not an idol, but somebody who I would like to look up to, who I would like to be able to talk to. Yeah, kind of. That's why I want to target the younger, people in my age range at the time.
Yeah,
because I want to be that person who I wish I had then to talk to. So knowing all these different things and being able to put it all into one little package for me helps me to talk to different people who are interested in nutrition but are struggling with it. People are interested in design but are struggling with it. People are interested in being more environmentally conscious but struggling with it. That kind of thing.
Sorry about that if you heard that. Right. I was getting Skyped mid-show. Oh, God. I'll have to put myself as unavailable.
I have not used Skype for years.
Me and Mick, who in the business together, we use it to all the time to talk.
I guess this is easier.
This, no, because you can't just ring somebody up. You have to arrange the meeting and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
with
yeah.
Skype, we just call each other up. So I'll tell him to go away. There we are. So yeah, so yeah, it again comes back to the whole helping people and basically giving them some sort of purpose, some sort of direction in life and stuff like that. And I mean, the nutrition side of things, I know we've gone slightly away from business now, but at the end of the day, we'll come back onto that. But these things obviously are of interest to you and stuff. So the nutrition side of things, I mean, I like cooking, and I cook everything from scratch. But I think these days, I mean, I run I do my own home brew, and I run a brewers and foragers group on Facebook, and I think that the lack of food knowledge is quite incredible. I was picking sloes for sloe gin, and 3 people stopped and asked me if I was picking blackberries, and I really couldn't believe that.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. But we're all too fixated on the phones.
It's all handed to us, ready-made meals and ready-made jars of sauces and stuff like that. So the nutritional side of things is really good. So basically, you wrote so much, and yet we've just encompassed it all into that nice little chat. And I think we went off a little bit as a tangent, but at the end of the day, I think what we'll have to do now is, should we go on to questions? Because we have these questions that we ask. Yeah, we have questions we ask all of our guests, and we'll try and get you to find some more from you. The one we're not going to ask you is, what piece of advice would you give your younger self? Because you're already young.
Yeah. Okay.
And you could do that now if you wanted to.
We only ask that to the oldies.
Stop doing that. All right, that's enough. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I've got one, I guess. So because I'm trying to target people 60 and 21 with the offer, I guess one thing would be
okay, fair enough. Yeah. What would you tell your 16-year-old self?
that even though everything's difficult, it's life is more beautiful than it looks. Because I know that people around that age as well do start to get that part of themselves. It's like, wow, this is horrible. This is horrible. I'm getting treated badly. I'm getting judged for this. I'm getting judged for that. And cars are everywhere, and I just want to be left alone. That kind of age is where you start, I guess, growing up in a way. Yeah. So if I throw myself in the past, be like, yeah, even though you're going to deal with a lot of things in the future, and you're going to continue to deal with it as I grow up as well, everything at some point will be okay. The whole thing will be okay, because at the end of the day, you are you, and you know that you can get through this. And there are people you can talk to if you can't. So that's one thing I'll tell myself.
Yeah,
I think that's the big comment there, is that there's people you can talk to.
Yeah,
and
that's the key.
As a 16 to 21-year-old, I know that I wouldn't talk to anybody because I knew best.
Yeah.
Because you do, don't you? Or you think you do. And at the end of the day, if you sit back and really think about it, there are other people out there that know a damn sight more than you'll ever will.
Yeah.
And have got time and the inclination to talk to you.
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, if I was to talk to my 16-year-old self, I'd say, don't worry, it'll be all right. Because at 16, I wanted to join the army, but my mother wouldn't sign the papers. So I had to wait until I was 18, and then I took myself down the recruitment center, and then I signed myself into the army. But then I didn't actually join until I was 19. But at 16, I was doing an apprenticeship I didn't want. My father got me. I was doing I worked in a slaughterhouse. I mopped floors in Tesco, and I think I was bouncing around for those 2 years until I was 18, thinking that basically this sucks. Like you said, this sucks. It's just not, this isn't fair. I knew what I wanted from when I was 7, that I wanted to be in the army. I mean, my parents should have picked up on that when I was 11. I dug a bloody trench in the front garden and stood in it with my bloody pretend gun. They really should have picked up on that. But at the end of the day, you're right. I would tell my younger self, it'll be okay. It might seem crap now, but it'll be okay. And that's the thing. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that.
So what's been your biggest learning experience in the business world then, Jordan?
That not everybody is who they seem to be. I've been
Oh, yes.
huge one. It took me ages to realize it, but like you get some people and their whole marketing scheme is to make you like them so they can sell you something highly expensive. And actually, it's a waste of money. So that's happened 3 times to me now. I don't know how I don't pick up on it. I've been. Is there any chance that I can explain everything that happens? Not explain it in detail, just be like, yeah, this happened.
Yeah, you want to? Do you want to explain it?
I want to, yeah.
Yeah,
but don't use names.
I won't use no names. Oh
yeah.
no,
yeah,
that's another this as well. Don't use, even if you don't like someone, don't use their name because things can happen. So yeah, I've been messed around by. I invested into a business coach once, and that once I learned nothing and lost a lot of money, saying it bloody irritated me, and I'm never going to invest into one again until I get further up, and hopefully it doesn't dent me. Another one, I was doing a freelance contract, first freelance contract, and I got robbed of 75% of my pay because I was treated so poorly and had to leave, and their contract was basically just to protect them and not me. So always read the contracts. Always read them, and get somebody else to read them, and get somebody else to read them. Make sure you get 3 to 5 people reading that contract if you can. Make sure everybody's on that, and then sign. Or ask questions as well. That's a big one that I've learned. Ask questions, because you can only get to the point of something if you ask the question why, which is something that I learned from my girlfriend as well, because she does philosophy and psychology. So it's one of the theories that she read up, but it's true. If if as much as you ask why, you will find at some point the true answer. If they can't ask why, then run away, basically. So
very, very true. Very, very true.
Yeah.
We go back to having people out there that can help. And you talk about reading contracts. Contracts are put in front of us, and we look at them and we think, the jargon's all wrong. It's not in plain English. It's not easy to read. And if you don't get somebody professional to look over it, you can be screwed.
Yeah, exactly.
Be careful.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's well worth spending a few quid on a solicitor or somebody who knows about contract law just to read it and just make sure you're protected. It's a great bit of advice, that.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the power of why. I like that. Simon Sinek is a chap I watch on YouTube. He's very good. I like what he says, and he does a video on the power of why. And it's the way that people look at stuff is the wrong way around.
Yeah,
you should look at things from a different angle, and it's very interesting, and the power of why is amazing.
It is.
Yeah. So we spoke earlier about what you do and how you want to help and all the bits and pieces. But what do you want to accomplish by the end of 2022 out of all these? Because there's so many things going on in your life now. So many ideas that you got floating around. But what are the main goals and what are your main ideas that you want to accomplish by the end of next year?
That's a good question. Next year. Oh, that's a lot of time. So
it is a lot of time.
It's 2.5 weeks away.
Not the end of it. Not the end of it. There's another 365 days after that.
It starts in 2.5 weeks, and by the end of next year, there is a saying I love that I was told once, and it was, this time next year you'll wish you started today.
I've heard that as well.
I like that saying. This time next year you'll wish you started today.
Yeah, and
it's very true. So it isn't far away. It's there
now. Yeah,
it's now.
I want to be able to at least, so I'm going to get some stats in my head, at least help by the end of next year, help 50 designers.
50 or 15?
50
designers. 50. Okay.
Yeah. Help work with at least 10 brands in who I'm targeting, hopefully more, but I will stick with the 10 because I'm still new. Start this podcast and have at least 25 people on in the year. That's a low one as well. I want more, but that's because it's going to be a weekly podcast and stuff. That's the idea. And just get my brand out there more. Really get more known, but be more known for the right things, not be infamous. you know, I don't want to be famous, but I want to be known. People know that I am the guy who works with environmentally friendly, the rebellious, the innovative brands, and that I'm one of them, and that I should probably talk to that guy. That's what I want to be known for.
Yeah.
Mental health is also a big thing I want to be known for as well. The guy who can push mental health and help people.
Yeah.
You've got some big goals for next year.
Can I ask, how old are you?
I've just turned 20.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can't tell by the beard. I look so old, honestly. But I did a little shave for this podcast. So.
All right. Thanks for tarting yourself up.
You're younger, so I'm all good.
I would have put you older with the beard, but when I was 20, I was lying in a gutter somewhere, pissed. But you know, I didn't have any of these thoughts that you've got.
I think it was harder though, wasn't it?
Hey,
harder because I've got a laptop, so I can do quite a lot more things than what you could do 30 years ago. I think it was more difficult back then to try and.
Good guess on my age there.
We told at the beginning.
Oh, sorry, right. Yeah.
What hard?
My beard makes me look older as well. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you're right. I mean, things were simpler.
Yeah.
When I was 20, and when I was in the army, so I was told what to do, which is pretty much nice anyway, and what to wear. But yeah, it's. I still think back to when I was 20, I was fairly immature compared to you.
Wow, yeah.
Well, you are now.
I think people grow up too quickly today as well.
I think today they do. I think that kids, to use the term, youths or whatever, yeah, I think that they do. I think that they're growing up too quickly, and I think that comes back to the pressures of between 16 and 20. And it's those damn things. Yes, I think that they're actually a curse, not a gift. To
I agree with that.
I think humanity use it.
It's like I know people who have them in the bedroom, and they say it's my alarm clock, and I say, well, buy an alarm clock. You know?
What alarm clock?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but people do that, but what's the first thing you look at when you wake up?
Notifications, social media.
Yeah, your phone. I don't. I've got an alarm clock. I wake up, I will wander through to the bathroom and do whatever I have to do. You know, put the kettle on. I don't even look at this thing until I'm up, dressed, and the rest of it. So yeah, it's a curse.
Very good.
The mobile phone is a curse.
So finally, before we finish, Jordan, we always like to ask people what they use for what they've got favorite apps or website tools or products that you use in your business life that you'd like to share and so you can help other businesses. What kind of things do you use in your daily tasks?
I think in business, it's really good to stay on top of your mental health. So one thing that my girlfriend pushed me onto recently was an app called Think, which is completely free. It rarely has any ads, probably no ads at all. And it basically you help grow this little penguin thing.
Sorry.
And it's a little penguin. It starts as grey, and you just grow it by doing little daily tasks. So writing down all your thoughts or doing a meditation thing. There's a lot in the app that I can't necessarily explain, but it's good for mental health, keeping accountable for what you've done today, reflecting on everything you've done.
And it's called Finch.
It's called Think, yeah, Finch, and it basically just you grow something as you go. And there's another one I've got as well called Forest, which is pretty much the same thing, but it helps with focus. And I'm pretty sure you get to grow a tree, get points, and then when you get certain points, the owners of the brand of the app grow a tree. They plant a tree. Sorry, so that it's accountability again.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is good.
That's one thing that I'm looking into. But I've also got another two things as well. AppSumo. If you guys have heard of AppSumo, that's a good one for getting
What's that? I spell that.
AppSumo. So AppSumo. It was founded by Noah Kagan. He's awesome, and basically you can get free or even highly discounted digital things like new platforms, templates, or plugins that you can use on your site to make them look better. And it's something that I've used in the past. But I look at the free things I'd recommend. They're really good. And a final one was allbusiness.com, which is just business news, which helps me stay on top of the trends as well. It's pretty good.
Wow. I love the idea of having to nurture either a forest or an animal. You just and feel like you're putting something back into the world. I think that's a great idea.
I think it's really good. I'll quickly show you on the screen there.
Okay.
So you can buy little clothes for it as well to make it more like you. It's really
There used to be a Japanese game where you
Tamagotchi.
had a what?
A Tamagotchi.
A Tamagotchi,
Yeah.
which was a virtual pet.
Yeah, you had to look after it.
And you had to look, and how many of them died?
All of them.
How many of them started there?
I think there's one story actually. One person like left the Tamagotchi and then like got back 30 years and it's still alive.
Ah,
Just one survived.
one survived. Wow. Well, I've got all of the links for them. I'll put them in the description afterwards.
Okay.
For those 4 apps that you told us about. And yeah, I don't think I would be very good at looking after a digital creature thing, to be honest with you.
He doesn't die. Don't worry about that. He doesn't die.
Yeah, I know. I would lose it. If it doesn't kill zombies and with an automatic rifle, then it wouldn't interest me at all. You know.
Fair point.
So, right. Well, brilliant. Well, thank you very much. I mean, that's been a really good chat, and we did stray a bit into more personal stuff and other things, and it wasn't all business. Yes, please, on the podcast, I want to come on and tell you my 4 rules of life,
Okay.
which I do. They are hard and fixed in my brain.
Okay.
So yeah, that I would love to come on that. I think Gareth would as well. It'd be quite interesting to find out.
Entertaining.
Meaning of Life by Gareth Bottomley. Cars. Horsepower.
I'm all for that. Mustangs, definitely.
So next week we have Yvonne Denman from Utility Warehouse. She's going to come on and talk to us about, well, there's a lot going on in that world at the moment.
There is.
Isn't there?
Yes.
It really is, with all of the gas supplies and the different things and the companies going under, etc. So that should be very interesting to find out more about the underneath of that world. Thank you, Jordan, for coming on this week and being with us and having a great chat.
Brilliant.
And good luck with your future endeavors. And by the end of 2022, we'll get you back on and we see how many of those focused ambitions have come to fruition. Do it. Do it. And you'll be 21. Jesus.
Oh, well.
Stop it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. I know. You were born. You've never seen. You were born in the 2000s then.
2001. Yeah. October 26th.
See, now you know you're getting old.
I watched the film Ants, though. Have you guys watched the film? Oh, no, Them. It's a good film.
The film what?
Them.
What's that?
See, I'm even older than you guys, then, clearly. It's a black and white film where big ants take over the US.
Oh, yes, yes. Have you seen the film Nosferatu?
No, but I've heard
When
of
you've
it.
seen that as a teenager, right? I watched that as a teenager.
I did.
1922. 1922 that was aired. It's actually a classic film which gets referenced in still gets referenced in modern films today.
I've heard of it, yeah. That's probably what I've heard of it. References.
Nosferatu.
2020.
Yeah. Brilliant film. Anyway, right. Well, thanks for coming along. We're going to have to bail off now. And that's it. That's the show. I'll get this uploaded onto the other platforms, let you know all about it. And then basically, we'll see you later.
Brilliant. Thanks, Jordan.
Cheers, Jordan. See you later. Bye, everybody.